You're watching ETN, where we don't do news, we just talk entertainment. Share and subscribe.
Hey guys, welcome to Entertainment Talk Nation. This is Rob. This video, we're going to talk about Godzilla vs. Kong. And as you all already know, the movie has been pushed back to November of next year, 2020, to be released on the 20th. Now, before we get into the topic, I just want to let you guys know, this week starts the E.T.N PodCast. I will be dropping a small audio trailer tomorrow that I will share here on the channel, as well as links to where you guys can go follow the podcast, and it will also be available on Apple iTunes. And this will be launched along with the big stream we have planned for Saturday to celebrate the channel's sub count, to celebrate the channel's anniversary, as well as my birthday. And I guess kind of I don't want to say dread. I don't see it as a bad thing, as I'm segueing into the Godzilla vs. Kong news now. But just to finish up, obviously we'll talk about that this whole week. I'm sure it'll be a big conversation on the streams that we have Thursday, Friday, and then of course Saturday we'll talk more about it. And there's going to be plenty of Godzilla vs. Kong stuff to talk about. It'll just probably be a little bit light for the next couple of months now that we know we have a whole year to wait. But be that as it may, I think this was a pretty good move. Now, let's look at the voting. I put a vote up on the YouTube community forum, and I asked all of you how you feel about this. 26% of you said this sucks. 50% said it's a smart move. 18% said I ain't even mad. 5% said this movie will fail. And 2% said I am a Toho purist waiting for that Shin Gojira sequel. Of course, I'm the one who put the selections up there. But for the most part, people in this particular vote, 50% of you feel that it's a smart move. And you know what? I would have to agree. When you look at the March slate for next year's movies, we have on different weekends, we have 2 Disney movies. We have a movie called Onward, which is a Pixar movie, which normally Pixar movies do very well, animated. Of course, the Mulan, live action version, which I'm sure will do well. And then you have A Quiet Place 2. These are all taking place on 3 separate weekends, which means Godzilla vs. Kong probably did not stand a chance. Now, as we look at the November 2020 release slate, there's not too much out there, but we do know that Guardians of the Galaxy, The Eternals comes out November 6th. Now, right now, that's roughly exactly 2 weeks before the release of Godzilla vs. Kong. So while I know some people are expressing their concern for this, keep in mind that Marvel movies tend to be very front-loaded. Usually the first 2 weeks is when everybody runs out to see it. This is an IP that is not as recognizable as some of the other ones. That doesn't mean I'm discounting it. Obviously, Guardians of the Galaxy and Ant-Man have proven that even characters or heroes of a lesser tier in the comics have a chance to be successful. And considering that Marvel has already made known to the public that when they deliver movies, they deliver entertaining stories that are family friendly, I'm pretty sure this movie is going to do just fine. I would be more concerned if Godzilla vs. Kong was releasing on the same weekend. But considering that Godzilla vs. Kong is coming out 2 weekends, 2 weekends later, of course people are still going to be going out to see the Eternals by then, but it's not going to be as massive as it would be those first 2 weeks. But yes, Eternals will take some of that revenue away, but if there's no other competition outside of the Eternals, then I think the movie will be fine. I don't think there's really anything to be concerned about. Now, with that said, there's still an opportunity for other movies to be announced for that weekend or announced for that month. That could hurt the movie, so we'll have to see what happens. Now, I know a lot of people are asking as well, which is why I waited long to do this video, because I kind of wanted to go through the comments on the voting poll, the comments on the Nation, Twitter, things of that case, excuse me. I know that a lot of people are wondering what took Warner Brothers so long to announce this. And I don't think it was a matter of them. I don't think this is something they had decided right away. I think it really sincerely was something that they were deliberating about, and they just decided now to pull the trigger. If they had decided to delay the movie some time ago, I think they would have made that known. I think they would have said it outright, and I don't think they know people are waiting. They know, the crazy fan base was waiting, but I don't think this is something that they decided, weeks ago. I think this is something they were probably going back and forth with, which is why A, we didn't hear about it, and why B, we haven't gotten any kind of information. As you guys know, some of my prior videos, I kept mentioning, forget the trailer. Why haven't we just gotten any information irregardless? And now we know why. This, if they're going to sit there and they're going to debate, should we push the movie, should we not? Let's look at the numbers. Let's forecast. During that time that they're trying to figure out what the best move is, they're not going to release any information. They're not going to say it's been delayed because they haven't decided yet. And they're not going to put out any promotional material because if they do decide to push it back, then that kind of defeats the purpose. So I don't think this is something that they decided weeks ago. I think it was decided probably today. Probably today they said, you know what, let's just pull the trigger. And I think it's a smart move. Like I said, that March slate overall is devastating for the movie. There's 3 movies there that are going to beat Godzilla vs. Kong. Right now, you have a good chance of Godzilla vs. Kong winning its weekend in November, despite the Eternals. Because like I said, Marvel movies tend to be very front-loaded. And while, there'll still be people coming out to see the Eternals when Godzilla vs. Kong comes out, but Godzilla vs. Kong should garner enough interest to at least take the week, to take the weekend. Even if only by 10 or $15 million, they should take the weekend in November. Now, the question is, this is going to come up again, trailers. All right, well, I think now it's safe to say we're going to see one in Comic-Con. That makes the most sense. By then, it'll be July, so it will be July, August, September, October. It will be 4 months out. It makes the most sense. I think, obviously, that's a guarantee. I don't think it's a big prediction. I'm not claiming it to be. I think it's a very obvious prediction. It's not hard to figure out. You're 4 months away from the movie. You're at Comic-Con. Boom, trailer. I know there's some people theorizing that we're going to maybe get something small before that. I agree. I don't necessarily think it's going to be a trailer more than what they did before with King of the Monsters, which is releasing material like in Empire magazine, maybe some more detailed interviews, things like that. I think they really will hold off showing anything until Comic-Con. I don't think we'll get any small teasers before that. I know some people are very hopeful about that. It wouldn't surprise me if it happened, but considering Comic-Con, what it brings, the excitement it brings, you definitely want to keep people elevated because things are going to calm down now. Fans are going to calm down. Upset or not, things are going to calm down. People are going to settle down. I think most people are taking the news pretty good because they were kind of semi-subconsciously prepared for it. This has been a topic that's been discussed for weeks now. Even before we got out of the summer, this was a rumor that started. Then it kind of died down and now it picked up again in the last couple of weeks. So I think people now will settle down. They'll relax. They'll be like, all right, well, we have a whole year to wait now, so there's no point in getting all worked up. But once you start getting into the spring, once you start rolling into the spring and start heading into that early summer, all this excitement is going to pick up again. All this questioning, where's the trailer? Where's the information? Blah, blah, blah. It's going to start up all over again. So I don't think they're going to want to drop any kind of visual teaser right before the big event at Comic-Con, because that'll kind of I don't want to say it'll lull people, but why kill the anticipation going into Comic-Con when that's going to be, you're going to have, they might have a panel. They will definitely, I think, show the trailer. So you might as well just keep people waiting, and it's 4 months out. And considering the marketing strategy of the more recent movies like Wonder Woman and Birds of Prey, and then I think somebody mentioned to me that they do have a new head of marketing. So I think the different approach is pretty obvious in some of their other products, intellectual properties coming out soon. So I would say definitely Comic-Con. This to me has to be a certainty. I don't see them missing out on that opportunity. As far as anything before that, I think information, material, visual pictures, stuff like that. I don't think we'll get anything in terms of seeing footage before Comic-Con. That's just my opinion. So no point in trying to make, in my opinion, there's no point in trying to make trailer predictions. Pretty much Comic-Con, and again, that is not a prediction, that is a certainty. I don't see why they wouldn't. If it's 4 months out from the movie, it's prime real estate, and I don't see anything being released before that. That's just maybe not your basic promotional material, magazines, pictures, interviews, things like that. So I probably would say around, I would say maybe June, you might see some promotional stuff a month before Comic-Con, then the trailer. Then they'll probably go radio silent again for about another 2 months, and then right before they get 2 months out, that's probably when it'll ramp up. That's my assessment. So I don't think this is a bad thing. I don't. I mean, yeah, it sucks we have to wait. I don't like that. That's, I'm not crazy about that, but I think it's a smart move. Considering what's on the March slate for next year, I think this was a good move, and I was kind of hoping this would happen. I'm not going to lie. I didn't expect it to be going that far back, but, I mean, November's not bad. My birthday's in November. It's 10 days before my birthday. So that's a nice little gift for next year. So, yeah, I wouldn't worry about it too much, guys. I mean, I know a lot of you aren't, but this is not a bad thing. And I don't think it has anything to do with reshoots. Reshoots are not uncommon for movies. I think sometimes we read a little bit too much into them, when we hear it from certain outlets. Like, you'll see certain magazines or certain YouTubers saying, this movie's in so-and-so trouble because of reshoots. It's not always the case. Reshoots are very common for movies. They pretty much happen all the time. I don't think this is a case of reshoots more than it's just like, you know what? We got this movie. It's done. But do we really want to release it and set it up for failure in the March month that's going to be loaded with 2 Disney movies and a sequel to a very successful horror thriller movie that came out a year ago? I think it's a smart move. And yeah, the Eternals comes out in the same month, but it also comes out 2 weeks in advance. And besides the Eternals, there's really nothing else to compete with the Godzilla vs. Kong. So as of right now, barring any major movie announcements for that month, I think they're in good shape. I don't think the Eternals is anything to worry about. They're going to take some money away from you. That's a given. But you got 2 weeks out from its debut. And again, it is an IP for Marvel that is not nearly as familiar. Not saying that it's not going to succeed, but there's always that chance. There's always that chance that people are going to be like, Eternals? I don't really know them. I might wait. But no, Marvel will do fine. Marvel's going to do what Marvel does. Don't worry about Marvel. Just focus on the fact that right now, as it stands, it is a free weekend for Godzilla vs. Kong 2 weeks after a Marvel release, which are movies that tend to be so front-loaded, it's ridiculous. So, but anyway, that's it for this video. Sound off in the comments. Let me know what you think. I know a lot of you commented already on the poll, and once again, everybody voted. If you want to vote, go to the community forum on the channel. Just hit community, and it's the first post right there. You can cast your vote as to how you feel about the situation. And again, don't forget, this week we have the podcast for E.T.N. There's going to be a small audio trailer tomorrow. I'm going to upload that on the channel. And the episodes we're going to have this week, we're going to have a Godzilla vs. Kong dedicated podcast, a Mandalorian dedicated podcast, and one other podcast that is completely not content that I do on YouTube. It's going to be something new that I'm doing, and you can hear about that a little bit more on the trailer tomorrow. And then come Saturday's our big stream. We're going to start at 7 p.m. We're going to go till midnight, and we're going to celebrate the channel. We're going to celebrate my birthday. We're going to have a lot of fun. And that'll also be when these podcast episodes should be live by then. And we're going to try and rally, get some people to go and support me over on Apple iTunes with some votes, with some reviews, to kind of get the channel notice out there, get some subscribes in. So all the links for the new stuff, the podcast and all that, are going to be in the description starting tomorrow. I'm going to put it in the global description. The website that my podcast is going to be on is Podbean / ETN PodCast. But again, I'll leave the link in the description. And one of the coolest things I'm doing with this podcast is you're going to be able to call in and leave a message. So if you want to leave a comment about the topic on the podcast, or if you want to leave a question or like a Q&A, it's going to be like a call-in. Now, just to let some of you guys know, it's going to be screened, so don't try and be funny, because if you leave a troll comment, it's just not going to get played. This is something that you leave a message. It's like you call into the show. The only difference is it's not live, because I want to screen it, and it'll be cool. It's something I'm doing exclusively for the podcast, and I will leave the site where you can leave a message. You don't have to sign up for anything. You can use your cell phone to do it, or you can use your computer, as long as you have a microphone, which all phones do, And if you have a computer, you know, I don't know if you have a mic or not, but you need a mic to obviously leave a message. So, but anyway, guys, that's it for this video. We'll talk some more about this later this week on the live streams, Thursday, Friday, 9 o'clock p.m. on Twitch and YouTube. And then Saturday, we'll be on Twitch and YouTube, but at 7 p.m. And we're going to have a very long stream that day. So, again, not so bad news. Sure, we have to wait a little bit longer, but it's not that bad. We've waited longer before. And I do think it's a good move. In the long run, I think it's a good move. So, all right, guys, that's it for this video. This is Rob signing off for ETN, where we don't do news. We just talk entertainment. Take it easy.